I don't want to be acknowledged, okay? I don't want you to say how good I was afterwards. I don't want you to say how much you liked it. I just want you to pretend that you didn't even see this, okay? Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Riss, and today we are going to be talking about all the books that I read in February. We are going to start with the books I put in my Valentine's Day vlog, which the first one I don't have the physical copy from because I borrowed it from the library. So it is An Offer from a Gentleman. It is the third book in the Bridgerton series. And of course I had to reread it because the episodes came out in February, I think the first week of February. And then the last season just came out the last week of February. I've seen one episode of the second half of the season and I'm loving the season so far. I also watched the first half with you, kinda, in my vlog as well. So go check that out if you haven't already. I ended up giving this book, I see it on Fable, I ended up giving it 5 stars, which, yes, I don't know. I feel like maybe that was from the first time I read it. I think that was from the first time I read it though, because it was just like one of the first books I've ever like read as an adult. And Benedict just, I keep on looking over there because my cat, it seems like he's trying to bite a wire and I'm really trying to not have him like be electrocuted, you know what I mean? The first time I read this book I was like absolutely smitten with Benedict, so I gave it 5 stars. Now I think I would give that book like a 4.25 stars, 4.5. Sometimes like Sophie just made me so mad during so much of it, because like if you just told Benedict from the beginning, like half of your problems would not exist. Literally, it probably would have been like 100 pages less. Also, like that book's pretty long. I think that book is like, I don't want to say it's 500 pages, but I think it's like close. It's like on the higher side of 400. So, you know, but we love Benedict. We love Sophie. I would give this book on reread a 4.5. I would give a reread a 4.5. So, next book we're going to talk about is Love and Other Words. Again, I put this one in a vlog and you will see that I did not enjoy myself when I read this book. I'm honestly going to unhaul this book because I do not ever see myself reading this book again. I did not enjoy this book at all. I just thought it was so like, I don't know. I guess like the twist did twist for me. Like I did not see it coming. What happened like with her like on the night. But I did not like this book as much as other people did, and I just don't see myself reading it, keeping it, just, you know what I mean? So 2.5, not the biggest fan. I just could not stand either of them. Like, how are you guys just gonna not talk for 11 years? And why 11 years at the same time? Like, everything about this book just made me so upset and made me so mad. And I said this in my reading vlog, like, where were Elliot's parents? Where were Elliot's parents? If they just like took initiative and just like tried to find anybody from, what was her name even? From Macy's family? Hello? Like, everything could have been solved. That's just me though. Anyway, yeah, 2.5. Not the biggest fan. I'm gonna unhaul this book. The next book and the last book that was in my reading vlog that never made it to the end of my reading vlog was, oh my gosh, was In Your Dreams by Sarah Adams. Now listen, this book was good. I gave it just a solid four star read. James was beautiful. James was everything. James was amazing. I liked Madison a lot too. I thought she was like cute and spunky, but I don't know, man, there was just something about James. He was just like, I don't know, he was just so nice to her. And I don't know what it is about like an overprotective, but he's not like overprotective in the sense that he's like controlling, but he's just so like, I don't know. He like did something to me. I don't know what it was, but he was just such a cutie. Like I loved him so much. Solid 4 stars. This was also the last book in the When in Rome series, which is pretty sad, but it was such a good series. This probably was my favorite one in the series. I think it goes When in Rome. I think it just goes like backwards from when they were published. It goes this one, In Your Dreams, Beg, Borrow, Steal, Practice Makes Perfect, and When in Rome. I did not like When in Rome at all, which is kind of crazy because it kind of deterred me from picking up the rest of the series. But then I was just like, you know what, I'll just try it. And the second book, I was like, this is amazing, I love it so much. And then the third book came out and I read that one again, so good. And then I was so excited for this one, so excited that I think I went to Barnes & Noble and bought it on the day it came out, like the week it came out. It was so good. It really lived up to my expectations 100%. So 4 stars. Another book I read this month was The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. This book was so good. Like, I understand the Kristen Hanna hype. Like, this is my first book by her, and she is so good at storytelling. This follows a woman. Her name is Eliza, and she basically is like 20 years old, 24 years old, right before the Great Depression hits, and she lives in Texas. So like in the part where like the crops were dying and all that other stuff, and she ends up getting pregnant by this man, and her family like completely disowns her, and then she has to go live with his family. And this is like the Great Depression, they're in the middle of the Dust Bowl, like crops are dying, so she is just trying to help her family to make a living. And they go through so much, like her and her family, they go through so much in this book. But it was such a good read. It made me like just rethink so much, because I feel like, again, women always go through the most. Like, oh my god, it was so good. I highly recommend this book. I did not think I would be into like the whole like historical fiction thing. Like, I love historical romance, but like that's romance, whereas like historical fiction is like history, but like it's so much more interesting when it's told in like a story format. Like, I feel like I've learned so much about the Dust Bowl from this book, and like what those people went through, and like how hard it actually was, and how crazy like people who were just trying to seek refuge were treated. And I feel like it really is like a good depiction on what is going on in America right now as well. And it was so good. I also give this book like a solid 4 star. So I'm 100% going to pick up more Kristen Hanna reads, but it was so good. I really enjoyed this so much. And look at this cover. Isn't it so like beautiful? Just like the foiling of the wheat. It's so nice. Even on the spine. Such a good read. Highly recommend. All right, the next book I'm going to be talking about, these last 3 books I'm going to be talking about were in my Black Authors vlog, and this one, Good Dirt, it's not historical fiction. It's definitely more fiction-esque than historical. This book follows Ebby and her family and this pot, Old Mo. And then you also see her just trying to like heal from like so many traumas that happened in her life, like her brother dying and her being just like left at the altar. Like this and this is not a spoiler, this happens like in like chapter 2, and each chapter is like a page, maybe a page and a half long. Like I think the longest chapter in this book is like 5 pages, so it's not really a spoiler because it happens like in like the first percent of the book that she gets left at the altar, and she's just trying to like really navigate her life and like just try to heal from everything that's happened to her and her family. And it's such a good book. It's really a good read. I recommend this book so much. This is her second ever novel as well. I think she has another one called Black Cake that I want to read as well. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be checking out that one. And now we move on to the Davenports. This was also in my Reading Only Black Authors vlog. This book, I, again, want to read the second book because it ended on such like a cliffhanger. It's not that things in this book, well, yeah, no, nothing in this book got resolved. I will tell you that much. But like, I think it's just a duology. So the next book, I think, will just tie everything all together. I really, really want to get to the next book. This book is basically like a historical romance book, but it's in Chicago. They are heirs to a luxury carriage company. So like this is back in 1910, I think. So back when like just at the end of when like horse-drawn carriages were like going out of style, and yeah, 1910. And automobiles were like picking up. Their father created the first ever luxury carriages. So that's how they have all this money, and that's how they're so wealthy. And it's just so like regal and so like fancy, high society. It is YA, so like no spice, but like you don't miss it at all. But it's just it was so good. It was like, I said this a lot in my vlog, it was like an ABC Family show. If you remember like Pretty Little Liars, Make It or Break It, Secret Life of the American Teenager, like it just gave these types of vibes. It was very like teenage-y. Like these characters also are not teenagers. They're like, I want to say they're like between 18 to 25, I would say. They follow these 4 women. We have Olivia, we have Helen, we have Ruby, and we have Amy Rose. And these are all 4 girls, and then their brother John. The Davenports are John, Olivia, and Helen. And it was such a good read. I want to pick up the second one so bad. So this book, and I rated this book a 3.5. So high 3-star. I would say a medium 3-star. Is a 3.5 a high 3-star or a medium 3-star? It's a medium 3-star because it comes right in the middle. Duh. The last book we're going to talk about is the highlight of my month. Honestly, I thought The Four Winds was going to be the highlight of my month, but no, it's this book, Brooklyn by Tracy Brown. Listen, this book, I think I read this book in 24 hours. I did read this book in 24 hours. It was so good. This book was also in my Only Reading Black Authors vlog. It was amazing. I have never read anything like this before, and I don't think I ever will again. Like, it was just it basically follows this girl. Her name is Brooklyn, and the first chapter, you see her get murdered, and throughout the entire book, we are going through her life of when it really starts to like get shaken up, and she starts like losing trust in people and just going down a wrong path. And we see all the people in her life that she has wronged, and as we see all of these events unfold, we are trying to figure out who is the one that murdered her. So it's a really crazy story. Halfway through, I wasn't even thinking about her murder, which is crazy because normally that stuff like I keep like in the front of my mind when I'm reading books that are like tell you the ending at the beginning, like the beginning chapter. But she just drew me into her story. Like, she is a character you wanted to root for so bad, but she kept on doing such awful, toxic stuff that like halfway through it, you're like, girl, I can't even like defend you anymore. It just felt like watching someone just completely unravel their lives and go to their untimely death. Like, her life was very hard, and I feel like it all started with her mother. I will say that, because in the first chapter, these chapters are also like really long. This is a 310 page book. I say a little. It's a 310 page book, and there's only 16 chapters. So chapters are very long, but in the first chapter, she gets murdered, but in the second chapter, the first chapter is also like, I don't know, 5 pages, 2 pages. The first chapter is also 2 pages. So the second chapter, you find out that her mom is like not nice to her at all. And this is when her life just starts to roll downhill. Like, it was just genuinely such a good book. I think this might be my first ever 6-star read. Like, even just holding it, I kind of want to like reread it right now, if that will sell you on this book, and I hope it does. And I wish, rest in peace, because Tracy Brown, it says in the beginning of this book as well that this is her last book because she passed away. Yeah, so this is her last book. This is the last thing she's ever published. So now all I have is her backlog. Selfishly, that's what I'm thinking about right now. But like, wow, I really wish she was alive to see like the success of this book and like what came of it. Cause, and also it says in like in this loving memory that she passed away like 3 days after she handed in the final draft of this book. So I so wish that she could see all the success that came from it. So bittersweet on like so many parts, so many sides to this book, and I just love this book so much. This is genuinely gonna like go down as one of my favorite books of all time. So those were all the books that I read in the month of February. I can't believe that we are 2 months into 2026. Like, how are we already in March? How are we almost done with the first quarter of the year? That's crazy. That's insane to me. I say I had a really good reading month. Only I had like one disappointment. I guess we should talk about this. I did have one DNF, but I think it's gonna be a soft DNF. It was Wuthering Heights, which was my book club pick of the month, and I was reading it and I was like, this I cannot follow. It is just too, I don't even know what it was to, but it was just not something that I was like vibing with off the bat. And I was just trying to read it. I was even like having it read to me because on Kindle, it's like free if you just have like a Prime account. And it's also free on Audible if you have a Prime account. So I just downloaded both of them and just had it read to me as I was following along. But nothing was going in. Like literally nothing was going in. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to DNF it. But then for our book club, we went and we saw the movie with Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi, and let me tell you, I don't care what anybody says, that movie was amazing. I felt so many things during that movie and I loved it, and now I kind of want to give Wuthering Heights a chance again. I'll see when, maybe not this month, maybe like in a couple months, I don't know. I really don't know, but I do want to give it another chance just because I know the movie does not really like reflect the book at all. I learned that from my friends in my book club who actually read the book, which was like only one of us because we just could not get through. But yeah, so that was like my it's a soft DNF. It's not a full DNF. And then also, this was my TBR from last month. And this is how many books I read from that TBR. And I'm also in the middle of these books. So I think there's only 2. I think it's ACOTAR and The Favorites that I'm in the middle of right now. So didn't get to finish them in the month of February, but I'm definitely going to want to get to them in March because I'm in the middle of them right now. Duh. So that was my reading journey in February. If you haven't checked out my vlog that I made where you could see me read 6 of these books, 6 out of the 7 of these books, go check that out because it was a really fun time. I really enjoyed making both vlogs so much. I love vlogging with you guys. I just feel like it's so much more like relaxed and chill, and like you get my thoughts in real time, and it's just a nice time. It really is. So yeah, I just love doing that. So yeah, all right. I hope you guys had fun hanging out with me. I had fun hanging out with you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video.